Drones are being sent straight into volcanoes for life-saving science. With an estimated 300 volcanoes on Earth, the challenge for geologists and scientists is how to monitor them all to send out early warnings before they erupt. Measuring volcanic gases is also no easy trick. As USGS is using in Hawaii volcanoes drones to see what's going on inside Halemaumau Kilauea crater, they're using drones to see what they can find out about these volcanoes. Kindly support my Patreon account because YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. They're specially adapted drones, and they'll help gather data from active volcanoes, one of them being in Papua New Guinea. We know that there are so many volcanoes in Indonesia. All these are volcanic islands. It's a subduction zone of the Pacific Plate. Now, the drones could help local communities monitor their nearby volcanoes and forecast future eruptions. The measurements could also tell us more about more inaccessible, highly active volcanoes on the planet and how volcanoes contribute to the global carbon cycle. Now, one of the well-known volcanoes is Yellowstone, one of the supervolcanoes, one of the 20 supervolcanoes of Earth. And they have been monitoring the carbon dioxide emitted by Yellowstone lately. That's how they found that it had a huge magma reservoir under the chamber. Yellowstone alone emits 45,000 tons of carbon dioxide every single day. 45,000 tons of carbon dioxide. Now, the Manam volcano is located on an island just 6 miles wide that sits off the northeast coast of Papua New Guinea, PNG. The island is home to over 9,000 people, and Manama Motu, as the volcano is usually known, is one of the most active volcanoes in the country. In 2004, a major eruption from Manam forced the entire island to evacuate to the mainland and devastated people's crops and homes from the eruption. Scientists have a few ways of forecasting when a volcano is about to erupt. They can monitor earthquake activity in the area to detect tremors, which almost always precede eruptions, and look out for the bulging, the deformation, the inflation of the volcano's sloping walls as magma builds up underneath. When clear skies allow, satellites can also rapidly detect and measure volcanic emissions of gases such as sulfur dioxide. Changes to these gas emissions can signal more activity in the volcano. Now, Manam volcano has not been studied in detail, but we could see from satellite data that it was producing strong emissions. This is what volcanologist Emma Liu from University College London said. She led the research team of earth scientists and aerospace engineers. She said, we also wanted to quantify the carbon emissions from this very large carbon dioxide emitter. Geologist Tobias Fisher explains from the University of New Mexico. Although volcanoes emit just a fraction of the carbon emissions humans do, researchers still want to be able to estimate what carbon dioxide, CO2, they do emit, and to factor this into the carbon budget we have left to limit the effects of climate change. Traveling to Papua New Guinea, the international team of geologists set about testing 2 types of long-range drones equipped with gas sensors, cameras, and other devices during 2 field campaigns on Manam Island, the volcano of Manam, October 2018 and May 2019. Manam's steep slopes make it incredibly dangerous to even contemplate collecting gas samples on foot, whereas the drones could safely fly right into the billowing plumes of the volcano, helping the research teams measure its volcanic gas emissions more accurately. And as we said, this is exactly what they're doing with the Hawaii volcanoes. They're flying drones to take pictures and measurements. Now, even taking water samples by lowering down special bottles to take water samples to see how hot the water is. Now, in the craters. Now, the drones flew here in Papua New Guinea over 6,561 feet high into Manam's highly turbulent volcanic plumes, some 3.7 miles away from their launching pad, well out of sight of their pilots. On each flight, the drones took images of Manam and its two craters, measuring gas composition right above the rising plumes and collecting 4 bags full of gas, extra gas for rapid analysis when the aircraft touched back down again. And aerial images from the drone flyover show that degassing at Manam's southern crater intensified between October 2018 and May 2019. Okay, so the degassing was stronger. In fact, the volcano soon erupted in June, just 1 month after a researcher's second field trip. But rising volcanic emissions are not alone a reliable indicator of whether an eruption is imminent or likely. So the researchers also looked at the ratio between different gases, namely CO2 and SO2 in Manam volcano plumes, and this can help detect the ascent of the hot magma to the surface and the expulsion of CO2-rich emissions that reportedly proceed before big eruptions. But the researchers found that the mixture of gases emitted from Manam was much the same during both field trips. Integrating their drone measurements with satellite data, the researchers were able to show that Manam ranked among the top 10 strongest degassing volcanoes in the world, emitting at least 3,700 tons of CO2 and roughly 5,100 tons of SO2 every day, higher than previous estimates. The team also deduced that most of Manam volcano's emitted carbon is likely derived from the upper mantle and not sediments from Earth's shallower crust, which they figured out by analyzing different carbon isotopes in the gaseous mix. In our novel approach, that is long-range and high-altitude drone operations, enabling in situ measurements, is presently the only feasible means by which we can characterize gas chemistry at steep, hazardous, and highly active volcanoes like Manam, the research team said. Further research will take more diligent work from scientists and flying time from drones, since the measurements from this study spanned only 10 days, with enough funding for equipment and training for local scientists from the Papua New Guinea area. This strategy could be used elsewhere to monitor other dangerously increasing volcanoes, such as Mayon in the Philippines and Sinabung volcano in Indonesia, which erupt, as we know, quite frequently. This research was published in Science Advances, and it's on Science Alert by Claire Watson. Please leave your comments. Thank you.